In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the coolant on this Honda Civic, draining it, filling it, and I'm going to talk about how to properly flush the system in case you need to do so. If you need any parts for your car, check us out at oneauto.com. Let's get started. Underneath the front of the vehicle, you'll see that there's a cutout in the splash shield. Inside this cutout, you'll be able to reach the drain plug and unthread it. Have a collection bucket underneath, of course, to catch the fluid. This coolant will start draining at this point. Don't remove this all the way because it'll start shooting straight out the back, but just let it drain. To speed up the draining process, remove the radiator cap by twisting it counterclockwise until it stops and pulling it off. Once it's done draining, close the petcock. Make sure that's nice and snug. And just take something that'll absorb the drippage, that way it can stop dripping all over the ground once you remove your drain pan. Now let's fill up the cooling system. I have this special funnel that I'm going to install here. This will help me bleed the system and of course fill it without spilling. It has an adapter that goes on the radiator and the funnel goes right into it. This will help me bleed the system a lot easier because this will now be the highest point in the cooling system and the air will naturally want to rise into the funnel and exit obviously up top instead of getting trapped in the system. Now I'm going to add the appropriate type of coolant until the funnel is about a quarter of the way full. Then I'm going to start the vehicle, let it run, let that water pump circulate the coolant through, and then once it's done bubbling, I know that the thermostat has opened and everything is full of coolant. Now if you needed a coolant flush, at that point you would drain it and then repeat the process over and over until you get all the old coolant out and all the new coolant has replaced it. Then fill it again and bleed it one last time. Okay, it stopped bubbling. I'm going to fill the funnel just a little bit more. And at this point I'm going to start the engine. Like I said, let it run and warm up. Once you're in the vehicle, start the engine. And we're just going to let it run and idle so that it can warm up. On the HVAC side, I like to put the heat all the way on high, and I recommend this with the blower on low and have it set to vents. That way you can feel when the heat starts blowing through the vents, and you want to make sure that heater core gets full of coolant, of course, and doesn't have air pockets. Because if it does have an air pocket, you're not going to have heat in the car and you're going to have air trapped in the cooling system. So now we're going to just let this warm up, and we'll come back in a few minutes. You want to watch that temperature gauge and make sure it goes up to the halfway point but doesn't go anywhere past it. If it does, most likely there's an air pocket in the system. You're going to have to shut it off, let it cool down, and start again. Once you're done bleeding, if you squeeze on the upper radiator hose just a little bit, plug the funnel, and then remove it, you'll spill a little bit, but not as much as you would if you didn't do that because there would be coolant right here. Now I'm going to pull this away and put the rest in my overflow container, which is actually almost full, so I can't put too much in it, but for now I'm going to cap the radiator back off, put the rest in here, perfect, right up to the max line, which you can see on the side of it. Make sure you thread that cap back on and clean up anything that's spilt. There you go, take it for a road test. I hope this video was helpful, and if you have anything to say, leave it in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell so you can stay up to date with all of our latest content. Thanks for watching.